Friend of the show, the legend, Frank Caliendo joins us.
Frank, good morning.
Yeah, guys, what's up?
What's happening?
Did you hear her fighting?
Awkwardly,
Did you hear her fighting about
that?
you? Did you hear all this fighting about you? We were on hold that whole time?
I did hear on and off, but I tuned it out for a little bit.
See, he knows the biz.
When I hear too much about myself, I start to go, I don't know if I want to hear this. And there'll be positives, there'll be negatives, and I'm like, well, I'll dwell on the negatives. I'm doing Kiper on that. You're going to talk about the positives and negatives. You're going to dwell on the negatives and not focus anything on the positives. You throw the positive away. Somebody says, hey, Mel, you're doing a tremendous job with your three-ring binder in your basement, continuing to evolve the NFL draft to a situation that's never been before. But at the end of the day, they're saying, why do you have the Widow's Peak Eddie Munster haircut? That's for, that kind of, that's a recipe you would get, and your audience would be like, that's a little bit old for us. But at the end of the day, and that's the way you know they're winding down, as I'm saying, at the end of the day, the sentence is just about over.
Okay, so listen, I'm a Raiders fan, Mel, and there have been some doubts cast upon the quarterback that we all are thinking we're going to take number one, Fernando Mendoza. Dan Orlovsky was like, I reviewed all the tape. I think it's Ty Simpson. He played with the lesser team. Fernando was so. What do you think about Fernando Mendoza? Are we overthinking it? Is this just draft day jitters? Are these just people trying to throw smoke at my guy? Or is there actually some concerns about Fernando Mendoza?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of smoke out there. That's the way you look at the NFL draft. A lot of people lying. You think that what's being put out in the media, people grab on and go with that, go with the flow with what everybody's talking about. I think Fernando Mendoza has that it factor, the tremendous ability to stay in the game. He's a winner. That Tyson Day does a tremendous job. But, a lot of people say, can Fernando make the throws? And I think at the end of the day, like I told you before, winding down right now, at the end of the day, Fernando Mendoza has the abilities and going to be like a Bo Nix type of player that's going to do what you need to get done. And people say, hey, he's a game manager. What's wrong with being a game manager? Tom Brady set the record for Super Bowl wins as a quarterback. As a game manager, people say every 5 years, people are saying Tom Brady needs to retire. What did he do? He won 15 more Super Bowls. And I know I'm exaggerating slightly there. What did he actually win? 12? Did he win 12 Super Bowls? I don't know. I stopped counting at 4. I look at a guy like a Joe Montana or, that type of player, and you say, how could I not come up with the name Perry Bradshaw? Took me a second. But I'm looking at a guy, Fernando Mendoza, neither of those guys, but I think he's got the ability to really play in the NFL. And you're looking for a guy who's going to play multiple years, get into another contract. They're going to have some stability. And I think with what's going on with that team, they're going to try and find that in a Delta-type situation.
The great Frank Caliendo.
Good use of the word.
So Frank's going to be performing in April, Wednesday, April 1st at the Irvine Improv in Irvine. Then Friday, April 3rd at Oxnard Levity Live. Right now, first 5 callers at 877-710-ESPN, you win a pair of tickets to the Wednesday show in Irvine. So if you want to go to the Irvine show, 877-710-ESPN, first 5 callers now win to see Frank Wednesday, April 1st at the Irvine Improv. Now, Frank, I first met you and experienced your brilliant work like 25 years ago when I was working with Bruno and Siciliano at Fox Sports Radio. And back then, what impersonation was getting a lot of steam, especially with that crew. And I know it's in the repertoire and it's kind of old school, but I want a little taste of Jim. I want just a little taste of Rhome, if you could.
Incredible. Phenomenal. I'm doing a new set of programming, and it's called Jim Only Fans. Jim Rhome Fans. One of the greatest topics, have a toe and don't suck. A lot of people are saying, would you do this on ESPN Radio? But after listening to the Booger conversation, and we're not talking about Booger McFarland, we're talking about a man with a living, growing creature inside his nose from another show. Incredible, phenomenal, arugula, 4-syllabic, multi-syllabic words. Don't know what the prefixes for 4. Not even sure if that's the right vocabulary situation, but we're getting it right now.
Indeed. You happy with that, Christopher?
That was
Phenomenal.
Hey, have you ever had this debate with Stephen A. Smith, though, like on Fernando Mendoza, Mel?
I understand where we're coming from with some of these situations, but I look at a guy like a Fernando Mendoza, and I'm saying to myself, does he have the particulation to contribute in this type of situation? I don't have the. That's the funny thing is when I look at like 90% of my characters are not that smart and don't have a vocabulary. So when it comes or how I do them, it's kind of like doing Celebrity Jeopardy on Saturday Night Live. Everybody gets dumbed down to my level of intelligence. You can't do that with Stephen A. Smith because his vocabulary is so grand and magnificent. I would say even maleficent. Is that the question that you're going with right there? That's it, which I believe is a Disney character as well. But I digress.
But I digress.
I love his Stephen.
That's always the slow down. There's slow down. Certain people have slow downs.
Yeah.
And he has one of those, I understand.
Yes.
It's time to get serious. And I've decided to run for president of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. But he's got that slow down. Schefter has Adam Schefter coming up with the situation, understanding, according to my sources, at this particular time, we are going to slow down to the point where I am looking at my phone, getting more information than is necessary.
Has Shams been on long enough for you to get the Shams? Does Shams have any good ones?
Shams. No, I don't have a Shams. I'd have to figure that out.
Study him a little bit.
Basketball. The go-tos were Bill Walton used to be, and I even did doing games with him was great because we would just, Dave Ash, what's your name again? Why are you here? And the other day on the first four, that's kind of what it was like when Dick Vitale and Charles Barkley were doing the games together.
Oh my God.
That game together. And Vitale at least had, he does his research. He's a pro at that, right? He's like, it's incredible, it's amazing, it's unbelievable, baby. So he's doing that, but Charles, who's done zero research, they ask him the questions like, what do you think, Charles? What do you think, Charles? What do you think of that? He's like, well, I think the transfer portal is a really bad for the game, and I look at the NIL, and these guys are getting paid way too much. They deserve to be paid. I mean, that's the thing. And why putting that fat picture up there? I've been on the fat shop for a while. That's 200 pounds ago. That suit, I could wear two of those suits right now. But that's what, and they kept going. They'd be like, "Well, Charles, what do you think of that? What an incredible dunk right there. What do you think, Charles?" Well, the transfer portal is a problem. We're not talking about that. We're talking about something. But NIL, that's really bad. I look at the way the game is evolving, and like I said, these guys deserve to be paid.
How's Auburn doing these days? Are they in the tournament? How's their NIL?
Who was that? I didn't hear it.
How's Auburn doing these days? How's their NIL?
Your alma mater, Charles.
I didn't think they should be in the tournament. I thought they should have been. Bruce Pearl had a different idea because his son was coaching the team, but I think it's very different. They wanted me to do a Dick Vitale impression, and I avoided that like the plague. but let me say this. Guys. More importantly, the transfer portal is really, really bad. If I haven't made, and the NIL is really these players. They deserve to be paid, but they're changing teams more than Dwight Howard. It's crazy.
Frank Caliendo, what a genius. What a master. A master class. We talk about that a lot on the show, Cappy. Frank will be performing. I almost said in concert, but it is like a concert.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Wednesday, April 1st at Irvine Improv. Friday, April 3rd at Oxnard Levity Live. Now, Frank, one more request, because it's kind of what, when you were on the show in February with Cappy, you guys had a Gruden off. You've heard Cappy's Gruden, so now I think this time we start with your Gruden.
Yeah, a little spider, too. Why, bananas? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're talking about? I want to open up some boxes. You guys been opening up any boxes over there? I like to open think about opening up. You ever hear of breaking sports cards? I think that'd be pretty fun, getting people to join teams and bid on cards. That'd be pretty tremendous. Or maybe start opening up Easter baskets. Easter's around the corner, man. I'll have to open this up. You ever get those what are those little marshmallow Easter bunnies? You ever get those? What are those little marshmallow Easter bunny eggs, man? Or Cadbury eggs, man. Remember those things? It's Easter time, and it's time for the Cadbury bunny. This guy was laying chocolate-wrapped eggs. I've never seen anything like that, man. That's some type of genetic mutation.
I'll tell you what, Coach, it's really interesting. I just got a package the other day from High Point University, man. I never even heard of High Point University, but they got a plane on campus, man. It's just tremendous where they have the students sit in the plane and learn how to talk to a guy that they've never met on a plane. Just a tremendous opportunity, man. And they got a quarterback at that school that's going to come to the Gruden Academy. Tell you what, this kid is tremendous, man. What do you think about that, Coach?
I think that's going to be a high point of his career, man. That's what that's going to be. I'm talking about High Point. Their coach is now the coach in waiting. He just became the coach, former coach at High Point. He went to Creighton. He was the coach in waiting this year. Greg McDermott, not to be confused with Sean McDermott, fantastic football coach. We don't have to get into what happened to him in Buffalo, man. I don't know what's going on in the NFL. Some of these coaches, the coaching carousel is almost as crazy. Not as crazy as what's going on in college coaching, but I'll tell you what, man, it's a tremendous situation. But High Point University, a lot of people lost a lot of money betting against those guys.
Yes, they did.
The great Frank Caliendo, frankcaliendo.com. Wednesday, April 1st in Irvine at the Irvine Improv. And then Cappy, Friday, April 3rd at Oxnard Levity Live. We'll give away those Oxnard tickets in just a few moments. But, Frank, you're amazing as always.
Frank, we love you, man. We appreciate you. We'll see you on the 1st in Irvine, and we'll see you on the 3rd. Believe it or not, I think I'm making the 3rd.
Oh, you are?
In the Nard. Yes, the 805 in the house. I'm going to see you up there on Friday. April 3rd.
Incredible, phenomenal. By the way, the Hermosa Beach Show, Comedy and Magic Club, sold out in advance. How great is that?
It's great.
Big tour stop. So the Oxnard show, we'll see you there. Incredible, phenomenal. I am wondering what I'm going to say next.
Frank Caliendo, right here on the